This is probably one of the best Boruto videos you have watched in a long time. Many people didn't notice the significance of Boruto being able to summon toads, which hints that he's not believed to be the villain inside Konoha, due to the close bond between the toads and the village. All this is because of Konohamaru, who suddenly became the new second man of the Hokage. Don't get me wrong, it makes sense to position him as the second man, just like Shikamaru was for Naruto, and then he became Hokage himself. And so, given that Konohamaru also wishes to become Hokage, it could indeed foreshadow his future position before Sarada. But that's not the point right now. What follows now is actually pretty insane, so buckle up. You are about to go on a ride that will change the entire Boruto series. And make sure to watch until the end, where I will reveal two things: the insane conclusion and the possibility that not only changes the Boruto series forever, but everything we have seen in Naruto. A 20-year-long lie. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's talk about it. Before we start, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment if you enjoyed this video. Okay, so someone like Konohamaru, one of Konoha's strongest forces, shouldn't be stuck in an office. Just like Shikamaru shouldn't be a Hokage either. Konohamaru is too strong for the office and Shikamaru too weak for the military leader. Especially in a situation like the one most people in Konoha believe to be in, that is in great danger of being attacked by whom they believe is one of the strongest villains Earth has ever seen. Stronger than Obito and Madara, Boruto and Sasuke. In this case, at the very least, Kakashi should be Hokage with Shikamaru as his advisor, and Konohamaru should be protecting the borders. It's clear that they have their position for a reason. Trust me, this combination would make sense in any scenario except one. That is, when the danger is not outside Konoha but inside. Meaning, if force isn't required, but intelligence. This proves that Shikamaru knows the truth, which is why the very first scene of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex showed Shikamaru and Konohamaru talking to Sarada as if they truly believe that Boruto and Sasuke are traitors. But in reality, all Shikamaru does is likely prevent Sarada from having the same fate as Naruto. But how does Shikamaru know? Well, first of all, his IQ is extremely high. When he was a kid, it was impossible to pinpoint, but it was definitely higher than 200. So naturally, Shikamaru would have found out the truth eventually. But what about Konohamaru? And here's the key: because Boruto was able to summon toads, it's literally impossible that Konohamaru didn't get notified by the other toads who confirmed Boruto's identity as Naruto's son, not Kawaki. Now listen carefully. Momoshiki has hinted that omnipotence messes with human memory. It wasn't mentioned that reality literally changed, or who exactly is affected. But he mentioned humans. The desire was solely formulated by Kawaki, and the idea of a wish is more important than formulation. If Kawaki has no idea about the toads, he probably wouldn't include them in his desire, meaning they are immune. But even if he doesn't have to know about them for them to be affected, it's also possible that they simply are not affected because of their nature, which is, by the way, very similar to Otsutsuki. For example, they are able to use something that Otsutsukis would refer to as Shinjutsu, which is their term for using abilities without hand signs or chakra manipulation. That's exactly what toads can do, and on top of that, they can actually perform ninjutsu just like humans and Otsutskis, making them extremely mysterious and unique beings. I mean, we have a toad and an Otsutsuki who can see the future. This will become important later in the video. So I wouldn't underestimate this possibility, but that's not everything. Before such an animal can be summoned, the summoner must first form a contract with the animal or its species. In the case of the toads, the contract is a scroll that the summoner signs their name on using their own blood and further marks with the fingerprints of one of their hands. And this scroll is actually passed down from generation to generation. This leads to the fact that nobody contracts the toads unless they're recommended by someone who's able to summon the scroll. And only people who signed the contract are able to summon the scroll. Do you get the idea? This is why only people from Konoha sign contracts with the toads. So it's literally impossible for Boruto to be in a contract with the toads unless someone recommended him, or he finds Mount Myoboku, which is also impossible. The only known way to reach that place is a single secret and hidden path, literally described as a maze, that takes you 1 month to reach Mount Myoboku, and only if you choose every single path perfectly during this month, otherwise you will never reach it. So if you make one mistake, the whole month spent is all in vain, meaning Boruto couldn't get in contact with the toads unless they contacted him through their scout toads. It's not an impossible idea because Naruto disappeared, but they likely felt his presence in some way, so they went to investigate, and the first person to contact would be Konohamaru, the only available contract holder at that time. He of course will tell them that Boruto defeated Naruto, which to the toads wouldn't make any sense because that's simply not what happened. And they are constantly in connection with their chosen people, so they will tell Konohamaru that Naruto is still alive and Boruto is his son, assuming they are not affected by omnipotence. But even if they are, they still likely sense Naruto. Why do I believe they can sense Naruto? Because they are interdimensional beings, just like the Otsutsukis, which is once again another similarity between them, making it even more likely that they weren't affected by Ada's ability to begin with. The fact that they are interdimensional is proven in Two Blue Vortex because they can communicate with the Otsutsuki dimension. So they should be able to sense that Naruto is not dead because the timeless dimension is just another Otsutsuki dimension. And if the timeless aspect makes it impossible, then at the very least they would have sensed that nothing happened to Naruto. That is, his life force didn't vanish in a way that can be associated with death, but he literally simply disappeared, which contradicts Kawaki's lie and also Ada's confirmation. So no matter how we interpret it, it's impossible that the toads can be fooled. They are highly intelligent creatures. Even if they simply confirm that Naruto is not dead, it is enough for Shikamaru to understand that because both Kawaki and Ada lied. There's more to Sarada's statement, which would align with Sasuke's sudden decision to side with their so-called enemy. And so suddenly Boruto would look like the victim and actually the son of Naruto, especially with all the other weird hints such as Kawaki's modification, the wrong karma, and countless other things. Someone like Shikamaru would instantly put one and one together and realize that Ada's ability caused that reality change. This is also why everyone was confused at the beginning, because everything in Konoha looked like Boruto's Kawaki and Kawaki's Boruto. This was confirmed right after the time skip. This confusion remained for a little bit, but slowly the people got used to it, but not Shikamaru. I can guarantee you that. He's way too intelligent. If you think that's it, no, there's more proof. Let's just ignore for a second everything I already mentioned and just assume that Boruto somehow got his hands on the contract scroll and then made a contract. The toads can refuse. If they believe Boruto killed Naruto, which they must have heard of, especially from Konohamaru, he wouldn't even be able to put a single step inside their sacred place, not to mention make a blood contract. There's simply no way. Naruto was like one of them, literally like their son, at least for some of them. But there's more. To actually summon such an animal, users supply some of their blood to the hand they signed the contract with. And toads can recognize the blood because blood is literally what summons them. So depending on how much they know about blood and can sense blood types and all the genetic stuff, they could even confirm Boruto's identity just by comparing his blood to Naruto's. Furthermore, it was confirmed that every human has a distinctive feeling to their chakra. For example, especially Hinata often talked about how kind Naruto's chakra feels. She also recognized Boruto before he was born, meaning the toads could recognize the feeling of Boruto's chakra and associate it with Naruto. This is because usually they know who summons them even if it's not a person who contracted them. You can summon a toad using the blood of the contractor but using your own chakra. So both aspects play a role in the decision of the toad to appear or not, and that's because summoned animals are not actually required to do anything and may even choose instead to harm their summoner. In fact, they can even refuse their summoner's attempt to summon them, so the fact that Boruto can indeed summon toads means he not only has their trust, but they also believe that he is Naruto's son, definitely not the one who defeated him. Now that I have delivered literally countless proofs, everyone should see why Konohamaru is the second man in Konoha, because through Konohamaru, to whom the toads confirmed Boruto's identity, Shikamaru can communicate with Boruto using the toads. This means that Shikamaru protects Sarada and anyone else from suddenly disappearing just like Naruto. I mean, it's so obvious. All Shikamaru has to do is realize that Kawaki can make people disappear. There's only one other possibility of how Boruto could use toads if not what I just explained, and that is, if he's not using real toads, just like Koji. Why do I believe that Koji was using artificial cyborg toads instead of real ones? Because Ishiki was able to shrink them, which is impossible if they are living beings. The only exception is himself, so that will debunk this theory, but to confirm that, we likely have to wait for the official explanation. If those toads are indeed artificial, then Koji is actually the second master Boruto has. With that, it would be possible that Naruto is not the child of the prophecy, but Boruto. And what the Toad Sage saw in his vision was not Jiraiya training Naruto, but Koji training Boruto. He simply confused Koji because they have the same blood, which is why Naruto was never truly referred as the blue-eyed boy, just like the blue-eyed boy from the prophecy. The only person who has that nickname is Boruto, and this name was given to him by none other than Momoshiki, the only known person other than the Sage Toad who can see the fate of others and with that, able to give prophecies. So what is really going on here? I'm telling you, this is not a coincidence. But that's a theory that I will soon prepare. So if you don't want to miss this video, subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated to not miss this theory. And that's it. What do you think of this theory? Do you think Boruto summoned the real toads or artificial ones? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. And thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.